A group of mischievous children, laughing and playing, wandered too far until they found themselves caught in the grip of a ghost. What happened next, the story will reveal. It was late summer in a small Romanian village surrounded by rolling green hills and endless fields of corn. The air smelled of hay and wood smoke, and the villagers whispered stories after dusk. Among those stories, one name always returned: the old cottage beyond the fields. Three friends, Lucas, 13, Oliver, 12, and Emma, 13, were known in the village for their pranks. They had stolen apples from the orchard, tied goats together for laughs, and even sneaked into the mayor's garden at night. But this time they wanted something greater, something dangerous. As the sun dipped below the hills, Lucas leaned close to the others, his eyes glinting with mischief. "You know the old woman who lives in that cottage? They say she's a witch," he whispered. Oliver laughed nervously. "She just sells milk to travelers. My grandfather bought from her once." Emma smirked. "Still, people say no one sees her in daylight, only at night." Lucas slapped his hands together. "Perfect. Tonight we go. We knock on her door, we call her names, and we'll prove to everyone she's nothing but an old granny." Oliver hesitated, his stomach twisting. But Emma, always braver, crossed her arms. "Fine. Let's do it. If you're scared, Oliver, stay home." Oliver flushed. "I'm not scared." And so the dare was made. The night was cool, the sky heavy with stars. Crickets chirped and a lonely owl hooted from the forest. The three children crept out of the village, past silent barns and fields swaying in the night breeze. They followed the dirt path that wound away from the last cottage. With every step, the village lights behind them grew dimmer until they were swallowed by darkness. "It's too quiet," Oliver muttered, glancing over his shoulder. Emma rolled her eyes. "You wanted noise? Maybe the witch will sing us a lullaby." Lucas grinned, though inside he felt a strange unease. The path stretched ahead like a ribbon of shadow, leading to a crooked silhouette on the horizon, the cottage. As they neared, the air grew colder, though no wind blew. The tall grass seemed to lean toward the children, as if listening. A rusted iron fence appeared, broken in places, surrounding the cottage. Its roof sagged, and its windows glimmered faintly with a pale yellow light. Oliver stopped. "Maybe she's awake. Maybe we should wait until tomorrow." But Lucas was already pushing the gate. It creaked loudly, like a scream in the stillness. They tiptoed across the weedy yard. A broken well stood near the cottage, its rope frayed and bucket missing. Emma thought she heard whispering from inside the well, but when she leaned closer, it fell silent. The wooden door loomed ahead, its surface cracked as if burned long ago. Lucas picked up a stone and threw it against the door. Bang! The sound echoed. The door trembled, and then slowly it swung open on its own. The children froze. "It's just the wind," Lucas muttered, though no breeze touched them. From inside drifted a faint smell, not of milk or food, but of damp earth, like graves after rain. A shadow flickered across the room, though no one moved. Emma swallowed. "We came here to tease her, right? So let's go in." She stepped forward first, pushing the others to follow. The cottage was dimly lit by a single candle. Shadows clung to the walls, crawling as if alive. In the center of the room sat a woman in a wooden chair, her back bent, her gray hair falling like a veil. She didn't move, didn't speak. The children exchanged glances. Lucas, trying to act brave, shouted, "Hey, Granny, give us some milk!" Still, the woman did not stir. Emma stepped closer. "Maybe she's asleep." Oliver's voice shook. "Then why is the candle burning?" At that moment, the woman's head lifted, slowly, painfully, as though bones cracked with every inch. Her face came into the candlelight. Wrinkled skin sagged, but her eyes glowed red like embers in the dark. Her mouth stretched into a wide grin, teeth jagged and sharp, dripping with something dark. The children gasped. "You shouldn't have come," the old woman hissed. Her voice was not human. It was layered, as if a dozen voices spoke at once. The door slammed shut behind them, though no one touched it. The candle flame flickered wildly, casting monstrous shapes on the walls. Oliver ran to the door and pulled at the handle, but it wouldn't budge. "We're trapped!" he cried. The woman rose from her chair, taller than she should have been. Her spine cracked as she straightened, her shadow stretching across the floor like claws. Emma grabbed Lucas's hand. "We need to hide." They darted into a side room, which smelled of rot. Broken jars lined the shelves, filled with strange floating shapes, Eyes, fingers, things too twisted to name. Lucas gagged, covering his mouth. She's not a woman, Emma whispered, trembling. She's something else. A scraping sound echoed from the main room. Step, drag, step, drag. The creature was moving. Her laughter rattled the walls. Children, children, you came to play. Suddenly, the candlelight vanished. Darkness swallowed everything. Yet in the blackness, pairs of faint red eyes blinked open all around them. The jars rattled. The shelves shook. One jar toppled, shattering on the ground, spilling black liquid that crawled like living worms. Oliver screamed. Emma clamped a hand over his mouth, pulling him toward the corner. But the eyes were everywhere now, closer, watching. With a burst of courage, Lucas pushed the others out of the side room. Run! They sprinted back into the main hall. The creature now stood by the fireplace, her form shifting. Her arms lengthened, fingers sharp like knives, her face melting into shadow. The floorboards groaned under their feet as they ran. The cottage seemed endless, twisting into corridors that shouldn't exist. Doors opened into more rooms, all filled with whispers and shapes that darted at the edge of vision. It's not a house, Oliver cried. It's a trap. Behind them, the creature glided, not walking but floating, her laugh echoing. No one leaves. The children burst out the back door. Finally, it opened and stumbled into the yard. They raced toward the gate, but it was gone. The fence now stretched endlessly, trapping them inside. The only thing left was the broken well. Its rope now hung whole, a bucket swaying gently. A whisper rose from its depths. Jump! Downs! Safe below! Emma shook her head violently. It's a trick! But the creature was coming, her shadow spilling across the grass. The ground cracked where she passed. Lucas grabbed the bucket rope. It's our only chance! He slid down, vanishing into the darkness. Oliver followed, crying out. Emma hesitated, but the creature lunged, and she leapt after. They landed hard on damp stone. The well led to a tunnel, glowing faintly with a strange green light. Roots hung from the ceiling, dripping water. Where are we? Oliver whispered. Not safe, Emma muttered. The tunnel stretched on, and the whispering grew louder. Ahead, stone walls were carved with strange symbols, glowing faintly. Piles of bones lay scattered. Some were small, too small. Lucas clenched his fists. We keep moving. But the sound of dragging feet echoed behind them. The creature was coming down the tunnel. The children ran, their footsteps splashing in shallow water. The tunnel twisted until they saw a faint moonlight ahead. An opening. They scrambled toward it, climbing over rocks, but then Emma pulled Oliver up as Lucas shoved from behind. The creature shrieked, closer now, the sound so piercing their ears bled. With one final push, they burst out into the open air, a hill beyond the village. They collapsed in the grass, gasping, trembling. Behind them, the opening sealed itself with stone. The creature's scream was cut off. The children looked at each other, pale and terrified. No words were needed. They knew the truth. That was no old woman. That was no cottage. It was a trap, waiting for foolish children who dared to play. From that night on, Lucas, Oliver, and Emma never spoke of what they had seen. But whenever they passed the fields, they felt eyes watching from the shadows. And sometimes, late at night, they swore they heard a voice whispering from the dark, come back and play."